today with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Hey guys, it's Mo, and it is the 5th of December. We have a lot of news, a lot of crazy, and I will bring it to you today. Wolfram, thank you for doing your mod stuff when I was not firing on all cylinders this morning, so I was definitely like confused about where time went today. Good morning, Tammy and Cup of Joe, Janie J, Alice G, Pernella, let's see, Tammy Bogard, Ian Rabbit, and Audio Coffee, Jen Devka. Good morning, everyone. Uh, I have a little bit of a story time at the end of the show because, good Lord, does my mouth filter never work? It's like from brain to outside voice. Thank you. I get a lot. My good wigs are from Rebel Gypsy. They are pricey, but they include the clips in them, and I just find them to be really good quality if you want to try wigs. They're a good company to go with. But Timu also works too. If you want to join the wig wearing, community, it's a good place to start. And it's just fun. It's nice to have hair that I don't have to do anything to get ready. Also, I was a former theater kid. I probably should have disclosed that fact to Mr. Mo. He did not know. It was a deep, dark secret until I started buying wigs. Good morning, Neat Scholar. So, our first story, I'm sure you've heard it here, there, and everywhere. UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson's assassin may have left message on the freedom seeds that he used to unalive him. Thanks, Alice G. Mr. Mo is like, can you go back to red now? So I am going to go look to see how I can go back to red for him because he definitely likes the red better. The at-large suspect who unalived UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside Midtown Hotel may have left messages on the freedom seeds he used to unalive the executive Wednesday morning, according to police sources. The NYPD is still investigating the possible message, which appears to be the words deny, depose, and defend engraved on the rounds and shell casings left behind by the masked unaliver. Now, according to what I've heard, he also used a suppressor commonly known as a silencer and subsonic freedom seeds. Now, I am not a force multiplierologist, but I'm guessing all of these things combine to make it less loud. Again, the Hollywood myth that suppressors actually, take it to a shoo, shoo. No, it goes from like being a jet engine to a, oh gosh, what are those things that the construction people, jackhammer. I love it. I play Mad Libs with myself. Like it's a word, it starts with, sounds like. Cops recovered 3 live 9mm force multiplier rounds and 3 discharged casings in front of the Hilton Hotel on 6th Avenue, where Thompson of Minnesota was set to host an investors conference that morning, police officials said. Sources said several pieces of evidence each contained one word, indicating the unaliver may have been trying to leave a message as investigators try to piece together a motive. He was part of a healthcare group that denied 90% of claims because they were using rotten AI. I am sure he has many, many people who do not like him. That doesn't mean he should have been unalived on the street. Daggone it. The masked man used a suppressor and appeared to be an experienced, shooter based on surveillance footage obtained by the Post. He was witnessed lying in wait outside the luxury hotel for his target, the CEO with a yearly salary of 9.9 million, before he calmly fired off multiple shots at close range, causing Thompson to stumble and collapse. The force multiplier jammed, but the calculated and methodical unaliver was able to clear it, showing he was a skilled person, or he had just handled a firearm before. I mean, maybe he's not Agent 47. You know how, like, people ascribe great genius to BTK or, you know, Ted Bundy? They got caught. BTK was barely literate. I mean, his letters are just crimes against grammar, and I never thought I'd be the one to say that, but they are crimes against grammar. The Leo Pold and Loeb case, they were terrible, but they're always called criminal geniuses. It seems like he just knows how a force multiplier works, for the love of Cheetos. So the suspect then ran into an alleyway, hopped up on an e-bike, and rode north along 6th Avenue to Central Park, where surveillance camera coverage is spotty. But the suspect may have made some major mistakes that could help investigators easily identify him. He bought coffee, a bottle of water, and 2 power bars at a nearby Starbucks, so he spent $47. I see. He's an idiot. Before unaliving and tossed his bottle and coffee cup in the trash can, which cops dug out of the garbage and now have evidence. You didn't learn from Shrek? I mean, got Herman? You don't leave things in the trash if you're being a suspect of anything. Good morning, Betsy and Mandy Joe. Thank you so much. Investigators also discovered a phone in an alleyway near the Hilton, which they believe belongs to the unaliver. Investigators have obtained a search warrant to comb through the contents of the phone. A lot of evidence could help investigators determine a motive for the, hit. It basically looks like a hit. Quote, based on the evidence we have so far, it does appear that the victim was specifically targeted, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny said at an early conference. But at this point, we don't know why. This does not appear to be a random act of violence. Thompson led the country's largest private health insurer, which has a history of controversially rejecting customer claims and is facing a Department of Justice antitrust investigation. But he was well respected in his field. Well, if other evil buttholes who run insurance companies that don't cover anything that actually helps thinks he's a great guy, I'm not sure. I mean, call me crazy, but if everyone you know is a butthole, you might too be a butthole. Again, if we could just have an asshole rapture, God. I just need it today. The CEO was rushed to Mount Sinai West Hospital after he was shot, but he was pronounced dead at 7:12 a.m. His wife, Paulette Polly Thompson, 51, said that the family had received threats before her husband's unaliving. Quote, there have been some threats, she told NBC News. Basically, I don't know, a lack of coverage. I don't know the details. I just know that he said there are some people that have been threatening him. Now, I'm going to do a hot take on this, but as a person who has had things denied, you guys, if you watch the show for a while, know that I struggle with CRPS, or complex regional pain syndrome. And one of the most effective treatments are ketamine infusions. However, insurance doesn't cover them because they're considered dangerous and not reliable. So my husband and I are trying a, small package at the place that we found most economical for this treatment. And next week, I'll be going there to have 2 infusions, and then the next week, one after that, just to see how my body reacts because my body hates medicines. If there is an odd symptom that I can get, I will get it. I just have that luck. But we are going to scout out the hotel room this weekend. But it's it is constantly frustrating that insurance seems to want to do the least costly things, but then they'll approve the most ridiculous things that don't work. So I don't think he should have been shot. I am not saying that. What I am saying is that the insurance system that we have right now is flawed and it hurts people when its job is supposed to be helping people. So it is not fit for purpose. And we need to get people in that understand. And if we can put a light, on anything with this story, it's that these arbitrary, well, first, a man passed away. That's the most important. But second, something has to change. Something has to change. And I think we lost humanity in medicine. I think we lost the human when we got more, focused on numbers and payments and insurance. We made insurance so cumbersome that you have to file 35, advanced authorizations to go to a different doctor. So let's make it fit for purpose. Let's put something good out of this story and make it fit for purpose. Make people, pay for things that actually work. How about that? How about stop selling me stuff that's going to give me 173 side effects? In 3 years, I have been through 23 different medications since my diagnosis. And I've had side effects with all of them. And I've had doctors tell me, that's a really unusual side effect. Are you sure you're having it? No, my feet are swollen up like watermelons, like I'm 9 months pregnant in August, and I have been there and I know that feeling. So yeah. Would you like me to send pictures of my football feet? I'm kind of against feet pictures, but I will send them, Dr. Dearest. Anyhoozle, a good story, a great story. The Florida dog Trooper that was tied to a fence during Hurricane Milton finds his forever home. We are just going to stop on him at his forever home because I don't want to see him tied to a fence. The young bull terrier discovered tied to a fence and left for, well, to cross the Rainbow Bridge. As Hurricane Milton made landfall in Florida earlier this year, has found his forever home on Monday. I know I said Spuds McKenzie. Mandy, Joe, and I had the same idea. Oh, no, you didn't. I get it. The pup named Trooper was adopted by a loving couple who have cared for bull terriers for more than 3 decades, according to a Facebook post from Leon County Humane Society. Frank and Carla Spina said their hearts broke when they heard about Trooper's story following the catastrophic storm that killed 32 across the southern United States in October. We both looked at the video, and being bull terrier owners for 30 years, this is our 34th year of only raising that breed, Frank Spina told Fox 13 Tampa on Tuesday. I said to Carla that we need to get him, and she said, I'll try, but I don't know we would get him. A Florida highway trooper discovered the pooch tied to a fence along I-75 in Tampa as the storm was quickly approaching the Sunshine State. A viral video showed the officer trudging across a soggy field and rescuing the terrified pup just in time. The Leon County Humane Society then sent Trooper to a foster home in Tallahassee after receiving a call from Governor DeSantis' office. Throughout his journey, the dog-loving couple closely monitored his status. Weeks later, the Spinas saw the applications had been open for Trooper's adoption, and the couple didn't hesitate to apply. They wrote a heartwarming 2-page letter confessing their love for the bull terrier breed and their wish to welcome Trooper into their family. However, the shelter Trooper was staying in his adoption phase had some concerns since his former owner was a male, so he hadn't been responding to men very well during the fostering. But Frank Spina, being an expert bull terrier owner, didn't fret at their concerns. Oh, he got his own little. Look at that. That's a spiffy collar. Look at him. Him's such a good boy. I go directly into puppy voice. And I said, listen, we're not going to have any trouble with him. We're going to be best buddies, he told the outlet. I said, if we come to get them on Friday, on Sunday, we'll be sitting on the couch watching television. And they were like, no way. The couple drove to meet Trooper, and it was clear that the pup had found his forever home. From the moment he was introduced to his new mom and dad, you could see the perfect match, according to Leon County Humane Society. In other meetings, Trooper would normally be visibly on edge or uncomfortable, but Frank and Carla seemed to melt him and he was immediately at ease. One of the shelter workers told him it was clearly a match made in heaven and it was like he had cast a spell over him. Frank Spina told Fox 13 News. The couple also brought their other bull terrier, a female pooch named Dallas, and they were ecstatic to see the two dogs hit it off instantly. Dallas, her eyes lit up. It was like she saw Prince Charming, so the two got along. The couple believes that Trooper is around 3 years old and has assimilated greatly into their loving home. His former human trash bag owner, Giovanni Almada Garcia, 23, was arrested on October 15th and has been charged with aggravated cruelty to animals, a third-degree felony. Garcia admitted to leaving the canine as he raced toward Georgia ahead of the storm. The 23-year-old told officials he'd left the pup because he couldn't find anyone to pick the dog up. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis called out Garcia's unacceptable actions as he evacuated the storm's eye. When this poor dog was left out there, DeSantis said, we said, we're going to nail you when we find out who did it. And that's exactly what they're going to do in Hillsborough County with State Attorney Lopez. You don't just tie up a dog and leave them out there for a storm. That's totally unacceptable, and we're going to hold you accountable, DeSantis said in a news conference in October. Hillsborough County State Attorney Susie Lopez said Garcia faces up to 5 years in prison for the felony and will not get the dog back. He is being arraigned on December 18th. So I am so glad that he found a forever home with people that are experienced, kind of know the behaviors, and he has a new best friend and a girlfriend now. Good morning, Christine. I hope you're doing great. So I love when happy stories happen. That's why I try to sneak them in. Now, I am going to need a what in the flippin' Walmart rapture is this absolute crap? What is this headline? Y'all know I just pick from the headlines and then I'll read them to you so I can kind of react with you guys. But again, y'all are going to make final form Jesus come down here, and I'm not ready for the rapture or the end times, but y'all keep up this foolishness and we're going to have issues. Where is he? Lord Chippy attendants, we have a contestant. We have a contestant. Get to your stations. A naked, and I do mean naked, teacher was arrested with the devil's lettuce Smexy toys at an elementary school after fighting first responders. What in... No, this isn't Florida, or is it? Oh, it is Florida Man. Well, I am actually not as shocked as I was. Wrong stinger. Florida Man. I do love how I gave Florida a mullet too. I am proud of myself. A Florida man was arrested and charged with lewd and lascivious behavior after police found him naked in an elementary school classroom, allegedly with an array of Smex toys and the devil's lettuce. See, y'all didn't watch I did not see this in Reefer Madness. According to the arrest affidavit obtained by Law and Crime, police responded to a call made on November 28th concerning a white male who was, quote, naked in one of the classrooms at Windmill Point Elementary School in Port St. Lucie, Florida. When officers arrived at the scene, the man reportedly, quote, quickly clothed himself and started to run away. Police caught up to him, but the man, eventually identified as Joe Franklin Urias, 34, put up a fight that resulted in one officer getting punched in the face. After gaining control of the man, or the gross perv, backup arrived and the suspect was taken into custody. I demand the body cams from this particular transaction. I demand it for the safety of humanity and for the absurdity of Mo. I demand these body cams post haste. Police soon learned that he was a teacher at another school in the area, Somerset College Preparatory Academy. How the hell did he get in another elementary school? And what the hell did he plan to do? Was there going to be a smorgy in maths class? What in the name of all that is unholy? Urias reportedly told the police that he was currently without a home and broke into the school through an unlocked window. Officers found some of his personal items in the classroom where he was initially spotted. Among them were several self-pleasuring devices and women's underpants. He was also found carrying a leafy green substance in a clear plastic container that police identified as the ganja. He was charged with burglary, possession of marijuana, less than 20 grams, and battery on an officer. He was also charged with lewd and lascivious behavior since, as the affidavit stated, he was naked and running around the room without clothes on. Oh, we are just going to have to bomb that room. I mean, only holy fire and possibly a super soaker full of holy water would do. We don't have the amount of sage in the world that's going to clarify that room. So I'm afraid it's just going to have to be, it's all going to have to go. If I were the teacher in that room, that poor teacher, see, this is the problem. This is not a victimless crime. I know we're sitting here and joking, but that school teacher who spends, I have seen elementary school teachers and teachers that I know, spend a bunch of money to make their classrooms interesting, vibrant, and, a creative place for kids. And now she's not going to know where he set his sweaty butt crack anywhere or what he did to stuff. I mean, everything's going to have to be Lysoled and wiped down and covered in bleach and then holy water. Ugh. After his Thanksgiving night arrest, Somerset College Preparatory Academy posted a statement on Facebook acknowledging, quote, allegations unrelated to our school against an individual formerly employed at our school. He is not going to know how to explain this on LinkedIn, y'all. We want to emphasize that safety and well-being of our students and the community are our top priority, the school statement continued. As a part of our commitment to maintaining a safe environment, all prospective employees at our school undergo thorough background checks and screenings conducted by local school district. We don't hire anyone without this clearance. The statement concluded by saying we are handling this matter administratively and will take all necessary actions to ensure that this individual does not return to our campus. He is currently being held in the jail on a $31,000 bond. So there you go. Maybe he could talk about how he's cracked and broken, but he put himself together with gold dust. I mean, it worked so well with Sarah. Why not try it again? Double down. I made a crystal. Dear Lord. I don't get the point, but I hope your wife doesn't leave you, sir. I'm living underwater for months to break a record. I think I'm still married. Okay. I don't know how to... What are you planning to achieve with this accomplishment? I mean, if you're just doing this for Guinness World Records, I can understand if your wife, watches all the shows that she said that she would wait until you got home. I am terrible at that, y'all. I'm a criminal. I am a criminal watch forwarder. I am a criminal, like I'm gonna watch the entire season and then I will pretend with Mr. Mo that I don't know stuff. I am terrible. I am working on it, but it's Golden Girls, y'all. It is Golden Girls. It's been done for a bajillion years. I can watch ahead and I can watch it again because Sophia is the bomb. And when I grow up, I want to be Sophia. A man in Germany is attempting to break a Guinness World Record. Sir, your divorce papers are in the mail. For the longest time spent living in an underwater fixed habitat, Rodier Konk spent 60 days so far in an underwater capsule off the coast of Puerto Lindo, Panama, in the Caribbean Sea, and he's halfway to his goal. Last time I checked, I was still married, he joked to the AFP. He's 59 and he began his underwater lifestyle in September 26th. And plans to come back to land on January 24th, a total of 120 days. The current record for the longest time spent living in an underwater fixed habitat is 100 days, achieved by American Joseph Dirte. Dirte? Y'all, I read that last name and all I can think is Joe Dirt. It's Dirte. Son, don't church it up. It is dirt. Best line in the show. I always say that. I'm like, it's Dirte. So there we go. He gets to, you know, oh, well, he has a computer. I mean, honestly, can I try this out? Y'all, 120 days with no one asking me to open a snap pack or referee against all kid sibling arguments, not have to cook anything that I don't want to eat. I'm beginning to think I'm going to go for a world record too. Someone contact me about living underwater for a whole year. I will be back. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't last a week. As much as they, can drive you nuts, I love my kiddos and I want to see all of their chapters. But if I miss a couple pages, I'd be okay. Y'all, just going to the restroom alone would be wonderful without that. He is annoying. Why did you have him? Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to yell moonshine because it was the truth, but I don't know that that's appropriate. So I was just like, I will deal with him when I get out of the restroom. Could you give me just 5 seconds? Then the cats start scratching, and I was like, never mind. He has been living and working underwater in his 322 square foot living space, complete with portable toilet, TV, computer, stationary bike, multiple fans, satellite internet, and solar power. The aerospace engineer admitted to CBS News that he misses real showers in his capsule 36 feet below the surface, sharing that it's the first thing he's going to do when he returns to land. Yeah, if you want to stay married, you might take a shower before you come home. Ugh. Also, a porta potty? Ugh. No. Never mind. I'd like to go to a spa instead. I changed my mind. Underwater doesn't work for me unless you're going to turn me into Ariel. Then I'll take the job. Honest to goodness, you guys, now that I've seen those women that actually, perform as mermaids, I'm thinking I can pull it off. I'm a bee in water, and if I don't pull off mermaid, I can pull off manatee, and I'll be the state animal of Florida. And honestly, I'd come back as a manatee. I mean, honest to goodness. They're awesome. They just sit there, eat, and float. If that's not life, I don't know what is. The underwater home has a vertical tube attaching it to another chamber above water, which holds other members of his team and is how food is sent down to him. People can also go down the tube to pay a visit other than journalists and media. His only visitors have been his doctor, his wife, and his kids. 4 cameras monitor Conk during his day-to-day life, providing proof that he has been underwater the entire time, as well as letting his team check into his health. I don't feel like I'm suffering down here at all, Conk said. That's hardest is probably sometimes I would like to go diving. He added that life underwater is much calmer than city life, and has a team looking on research from a lab above. He wants to do more than break a record. He believes that moving to the ocean is something that the human species should do. What we are trying to do here is prove that the seas are actually a viable environment for human expansion, he explained to the AFP. Interesting. There's also an environmental benefit for the sea as well, with the underwater chamber acting as an artificial reef or shelter for fish. In the night, you can hear all the crustaceans, he said. There's the fish out there and all that stuff, and that wasn't here before we came. Interesting. And it is a sad story, but I encourage you guys. I know this story isn't fresh, but if we could remember the North Carolina, the West Virginia families that are still being heavily affected by Hurricane Helene, as families begin to the emotionally taxing process of rebuilding their lives after Hurricane Helene's devastating impact, one North Carolina family is grieving the overwhelming loss of 11 of its family members. The Craig family built 8 decades of memories in an area lovingly referred to by the locals as Craigstown in Fairview, North Carolina. CNN affiliate WTVD reported a state whose death toll has surpassed 100 after Hurricane Helene raised over 500 miles from Florida to the South Appalachians in just 48 hours. A mudslide caused by Helene ripped through Craigstown, erasing several homes and unfortunately taking the people that lived in them. According to WTVD, some of the family members were forced to watch helplessly as, those families just disappeared. CNN affiliate WLOS reported, "It's hard enough losing anyone you love, but to grieve the lives of 11 all at once has left surviving family members Jesse and Brian Craig unable to recognize their hometown as they process their grief. Jesse Craig tallied up the loved ones that he's lost. My mother, my father, my aunt and uncle, my great aunt and uncle. I've lost cousins and second cousins," Jesse told WTVD. About the mudslide, Brian Craig told LOS, "They saw it, witnessed it, and had to watch it all. And it's just the water running through the trees, the rocks, the mud. It's incredible." Just a week before the tragedy struck, the family had celebrated a wedding together. Brian told the station, now as loved ones rummage through the rubble of what's left of their family's homes, they're left with their memories, aided by only the photos and objects that survived the mudslide. We're going to have to we're going to have some really great pictures from the wedding and pictures of people who are no longer with us, Brian said. And the strength to be able to even just talk about this, to be able to just get up out of bed when you're trying to I'm trying to grieve one person and it's like a hole in your heart that doesn't ever get better. I couldn't imagine 11. They would do anything for you, he said. They really do have servants' hearts. That's the best way I could put it. They were just loving people. For the family members who still remain in the area, they're focused on rebuilding what their relatives worked so hard to build since the mid 1900s. They recoupled a couple of wood stoves out of a couple houses, Runyon told WRAL. They're talking about making a memorial out of those wood stoves, which would be really neat. Family friends have organized a GoFundMe for rebuilding efforts, funeral arrangements, medical expenses, and unemployment during the grieving process. This will never be the same. There's no way. This is never going to be the same, this little area. But we're going to try to move on, to get on with life. I know they'd want us to, Brian said. Please remember that this isn't a story that's done. Just because it's out of the headlines doesn't mean that people don't need your support. And I know things are tight. Words of support matter. Words of support, just letting people know that you're there and you're willing to sit with them while they're walking through hell. That's priceless. And I've had that, so I know how it is. It is absolutely priceless. In an interesting story from Rolling Stone unraveling a 50-year mystery of a body in the basement. It's a hot summer night out in 1969, and for those of a certain age, young enough to turn on, tune in, and drop out, Steve Paul's is the scene for you. As a spectator, a musician, a hangers on, or a hanger on, a place where music comes first, even if you do end up scoring the devil's lettuce or going home with someone. The line to get in stretches all the way down West 46th Street and around the corner to 8th Avenue. It's a long walk down rickety steps to a dark, crowded, cavernous basement that's more like a maze. There's Steve Paul, not yet 30, tall and striking, with a mop of dark hair and attired entirely in blue. Rolling Stone, are you writing a Smexy novel? What is going on here? Oh, this looks super duper long. I might do a separate standalone video as a newsy nugget for this one. I was unaware how long it would be, so I will probably work on that. Uh, Not that I've seen in headlines since I got up at 4:20. It might be there. So I'm going to cover this in a standalone because I didn't realize it's going to take me about 10 to 15 minutes to read it all. Well, I don't one-way ticket to Snake Island for these parents. Look, I know we shouldn't let parents that you know, if you are this parent, explain to me how you have a party house, you know kids are drinking, and you let them drive. Why? The kids are dumb. Teenage kids are dumb and they think they're immortal and they think that things happen to someone else. But you're the damn adult, and why are you doing this? And, these are foreseeable consequences. I agree with the state, which I hate to do. Parents known for having a quote unquote party house arrested for allowing teens to drink booze before a crash that killed a friend, prosecutors state. A teenager and two parents are facing felonies for their alleged role in a crash that killed another 18-year-old woman in Georgia. The driver of the vehicle involved in the crash, 18-year-old Hannah Hackenmeyer, was charged with 3 counts of homicide by vehicle, driving under the influence, among other crimes. DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston said in a press release. Her friends, parents Sumanth Rio, 50, and Enedita Rayo, 49, are also facing involuntary manslaughter charges for allegedly allowing teens to drink before the fatal crash that killed Sofia Likachivli. And I think I saw Raiders come in. Thank you for whoever rated. It's hard to read or look at chat when I'm reading, so I think Raiders came in, so we appreciate you. Prosecutors say that Hackenmeyer, Sophia, and Rayo's daughter were drinking at the Rayo household the night of February 23. To February 24, the underage teens were drinking with the blessing of the mother and father. Boston reporters Wednesday at a press conference, the Rayo home was known as a party house where underage drinking was the norm. Halloween, homecoming, the last day of school, Boston said it's a miracle that nothing happened prior to February 24th. Mr. and Mrs. Rayo's choices that night led to the death of a teenage girl. According to prosecutors, the teen had just polished off a bottle of wine. Was it Sarah Boone sized? And they decided to go for a drive shortly after midnight, with Hackenmeyer driving and Sophia in the front passenger seat, while the Rayo daughter wrote in the background, or in the back seat, sorry. They had an open bottle of wine in the car. If you allow teens to drink, why would you let them get in a car? I don't know how I feel about the party house, but why wouldn't you take all their flippin' keys? If you're going to do this, if you're going to be one of those parents that decides, I'd rather them drink with me and understand drinking, which I can see validity in, so that you don't go in and go crazy in college, I can see that logic, but why the hell not take all of their damn keys? You stole a child from a family. Okay, they had an open bottle of wine in the car as well. Hackenmeyer allegedly was driving a Mazda CX-5 nearly at 100 miles per hour, more than 60 miles over the speed limit, when she lost control and crashed, causing the car to roll over. Hackenmeyer and the daughter of the parents crawled out of the car. First responders rushed to the scene where they found Sophia trapped in the passenger seat. They extricated her and rushed the teen to the hospital, where unfortunately she passed away. An investigation unveiled that Hackenmeyer allegedly had a blood alcohol concentration of .046, which is more than twice the legal limit for someone under the age of 21. Quote, this crash was a foreseeable consequence of allowing underage drinking in their home, and worse, allowing someone they knew had consumed alcohol to drive, Boston said in a statement. We recognize that prosecuting these cases will not bring Sophia back, but we hope by pursuing justice in her death, we might prevent future tragedies, end quote. Let me check. I believe yes, this is Georgia. Well, we got the pineapper, but they're too damaged to eat. Police recover a stolen van with 2,500 pies after a chef's appeal, but there were too damaged to eat. Actually, that looks glorious. I know I'm not British, I'm not from the UK, but some of these heartier, pies and stuff just look wonderful. They look so comforting. They look, like, and it's covered in gravy. I mean, call me whatever you want, just don't call me late for dinner. A British chef's appeal for the thieves to return 2,500 pies that were in a stolen van ended in disappointment Tuesday when police found the vehicle abandoned with its savory cargo too damaged to eat. Tommy Banks, who owns two Michelin-starred restaurants and a pub in northern England, I guess in the county of Yorkshire, said a member of staff discovered the van was missing, along with its cargo of steak and ale, turkey, and butternut squash pies intended for a Christmas market in the city of York. The food has been valued at £25,000 or $32,000. Banks said that the van was insured, but he implored the vehicle thieves to not let the food go to waste. In an Instagram video, he suggested they do the right thing and drop the pies at a community center or other venue. In an upside, Banks said police found the van badly damaged with stolen license plates in Middlesbrough, about 30 miles or 50 kilometers from where it was taken. He said the pies were still inside, but they were damaged and would have to be discarded. It's just so much waste. It's just rubbish, Banks said in a video on Instagram. Sorry it's not a happier ending to this story. The pie heist is the latest theft of artisanal edibles to rock UK. In October, nearly 1,000 wheels of cloth-wrapped artisanal cheddar weighing 22 metric tons or 48,488 pounds, valued at 300,000 pounds or $390,000, were swiped from a London Neal's Yard dairy by a con artist posing as a wholesale distributor for a major French retailer. Despite a hunt by British and international police and an appeal made by TV chef Jamie Oliver, the cheese has not been found. A 63-year-old man was arrested and questioned by police, but not been charged. Who the hell steals a shit ton of cheddar cheese? I mean, I guess there is a reason they call money cheddar, because daggone cheddar's expensive. I get it's artisanal, made by hand, so I get it. But daggone, don't take away cheese. In a heartwarming story to end on, or not to end on, but to follow, a missing Wyoming man with dementia was found after being spotted on TV hundreds of miles away. what a blessing. Sometimes TV, sometimes this 24-hour news cycle can make us all crazy, but it can also get the word out and make people, look for a person because they probably didn't have the search going 100 miles away. A Wyoming man with dementia who wandered away from home and hitchhiked to Salt Lake City is safe after his wife spotted him in a TV news segment about helping those in need. 91-year-old Michael Black ended up at a rescue mission of Salt Lake, over 200 miles or 320 kilometers away from the couple's home in Afton in western Wyoming Star Valley. After arriving at the shelter, Black was recorded in a KSL news segment about feeding people in need at Thanksgiving time. The Salt Lake City station's broadcast zone extends to Wyoming, where Avril Black happened to be tuned in and watching. I thought, wait a minute, I'm sure I saw Michael. So I paused the TV, set it back, and sure enough, there he was. Avril Black, 77, told KSL News. He'd been missing for 3 days, the station reported. Police entered Michael Black's information into a database after his wife reported him missing November 25th. Tipsters helped police map his journey through southern Idaho into northern Utah, where the trail went cold. But one more lift got Black from the bus station to the rescue mission, where he got to talking with Jay Rouse. And thank you, Kay, for gifting 5 memberships. And those went to Anders Gustafson, Deborah Mellinger, Mad Mom, Cheryl Sharp, and Forrest Nelson. So let me get those cards going. And thank you so much. And congratulations, new member. Uh, Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate, rum, and sarcasm. You can have them all together. Just don't bring, a recorder. I'm just saying. Tammy, do you have gifts on selected? I know YouTube is being very, very dingleberry-ish right now. I don't know. You know, if it's gonna be as cold as a witch's boob, could we possibly, I'm just throwing it out there, but I want a lovely white Christmas. It's my favorite musical, even though again, the awesome and lovely, lovely, I am blanking on her name. Look, the good sister, the smart, the responsible one ends up with freaking Bing Crosby, who's like 173. Also, I am angry at, the universe that I never learned how to do that super fast tapping thing that the other sister does in the movie. Y'all, first time I saw that movie, my mom thought I had restless leg syndrome I honestly don't know what she thought, but I had one of her high heels on because we didn't have tap shoes. And I was in the kitchen trying to get my foot to tap as fast. Rosemary Clooney. Yes. Rosemary Clooney was the bomb. She was the cute sister. I'm throwing that out there. And then she was like, "What in the name of all that is unholy are you doing in my kitchen? What is all that noise?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm going to be a tap dancer just like Vera Allen. I am." And she was like, "That is a beautiful thought, but could you not do it at 4 a.m. on the linoleum while I'm, trying to sleep?" I do get her point now, but I was working hard on my goal, and she just didn't help me manifest. I would have been dead awful in in a tap dancing class. I have absolutely what we call no coordination. It's just absolutely would have been a tragedy on camera. Uh, it is a wig, but I love doing all the wigs. So thank you guys so much. Those will go in the shadow box. And my shadow box is getting so full. I am just so grateful for all the support you guys have given over this year. And I do love the shadow box so I can remember all of you guys. And it's always great to do that. And I am so glad that they found this gentleman. you know, I can't imagine his wife going through all that worries. Ooh, awesome possum. So I have a mix. If you want something good quality that's going to come with accessories and kind of be a good starter wig, they are pricey, I'm not going to lie, but Rebel Gypsy has really very good wigs. Timuel also has pretty good wigs. If you, yeah, so it's not, all that different, but I will say that Rebel Gypsy has really good quality wigs. This is one of theirs, and it's just easy to wear, easy to put on. Oh, so I have to, now we're getting into story time, you guys, because your host Mo, you know those, yes, it's a website, or I think they have an app too, but it's called Rebel Gypsy. And they have real women trying it on. You can see the process. It's not hard. It isn't, and you can kind of see what it has on. But yesterday sucked balls. It just did. Not the stream, not anything like that. I always have a great, um, time talking with you guys. But out of nowhere yesterday, and sometimes this happens with grief, you get what I call like a tsunami wave. It just hits you out of nowhere, like you didn't even get a warning, alarm. So I dealt with all the feelings yesterday, and if you've met me, you kind of know that I deal with stuff with humor. Well, yesterday humor didn't work, but I decided to go to Walmart because I had earned, uh, you know, just something. So I have my, well, it's shiny, but I have my Snoop on a Stoop snow globe. I bought it. I did. But the story is even funnier because I go in with my wig as per usual, and I'm going to the hair dye aisle because I figured I would get a rinse of rose gold to put in my. I don't like my blonde hair. I know people pay like a gajillion and $12. It's always a big fight with my mother because she's like, "You have beautiful blonde hair." And I'm like, "You're just mad you have to pay money to get my color." That joke never flies. I don't know why. But I was in the aisle at Walmart. They didn't have what I wanted. They didn't have the rose gold rinse, so I have to go somewhere else. And two of the stalkers were there and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna." The one guy was like, "I hope you don't dye your hair. It's beautiful." And I was like, "Well, it's a wig." Because I am like oddly, I have this tick where I just say the truth, but I don't filter it out. And then I proceeded to say, because of course me, I was like, my husband's confused about it, but I told him it's just like sleeping with a different woman every day. And the guy just looked at me and I realized that was one of them inside voices. He just looked at me for a beat and I was like, it's okay, you can laugh. I was saying it, as a joke. I mean, he doesn't really. And I realize that there are some times where I definitely should have a filter, but I just don't. Look, you guys, I have spent nearly all of my life pushing down the general mowness of myself. I have, you know, tried to be smaller, tried to be, uh, more culturally acceptable. And I'm getting to an age where I just don't give a darn anymore what people think. I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm trying not to be, my general rule is don't be a jerk face to retail people and also confess your deepest darkest secrets to retail people, apparently. Like my husband likes it. It's like sleeping with a woman, a different woman every day. I was just like, Mo, could you ever just, for once think about the words coming out of your mouth hole? Not a chance. Not a chance. Y'all need to pray for the Aldi employees and the Sally Beauty Supply employees because I am going out there today and I could just imagine what I will say to those people. Now, here's a question for you guys in chat. I do want to do a stream about delayed grief. Probably not today, probably tomorrow. It's a little too fresh today, but it is good. I'm finally feeling stuff, and that's okay. But if you're dealing with something too, I want you to invite you to come. It's it's not something that we generally talk about. Grief is, a very personal thing. It's not going to look the same for anyone. It's going to have its own, you know, feeling to all of us. But I had no idea delayed grief happened. I had no idea. I thought I had, well, consistently just not dealt with things for a while. And it does come. It, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I feel the hole now. At first, it was, an iceberg, and I didn't feel much, but there's a hole now. And it's really weird to be happy that I can finally feel some feelings. It's, but it sucks. It sucks donkey balls. But I think we need to start talking about it. And if I can have a stream and just kind of go through my story, and maybe someone else who is dealing with the same thing or not dealing with it, and that's okay, because I have really believed that your brain protects you from a lot and makes those feelings maybe an iceberg for when you can't deal with it. But when the flood comes, when everything, melts out, it's a freaking roller coaster worse than puberty. For the love of Cheetos, I'd rather have the damn headgear, the new double D's, and acne. For the love of all that is holy, let me go back to puberty instead of dealing with this. Or give me a schedule when this is going to hit. I'm just saying, like a little post-it note, and that would be fine. Just fine. But no, it's like a day, and you're having a good day, and grief is here, tapping you on the shoulder. Hey, remember me? No, I buried you in a coffin, put you, encased that in cement, dug it deeper than Jimmy Hoffa. Geraldo, I still watch that episode just to laugh at you. You know, put it down 15 feet, put a whole bunch of, topsoil on it, and now there is a beautiful condominium with lovely families and a playground right there. Yes, I did deal with it. My th- I went to one therapy session. Now, she seemed like a very sweet woman, but she had one of those screaming bowls, and I just knew that we were not going to get along. I just knew it. I was like, "Oh, you have one of them screaming balls." And she says, "Well, yeah, some people find them very therapeutic." So, me being me, I said, "I think they sound like the souls of 100 tortured cats being held in a dryer." And she's like, "Oh, so you're not a fan?" I was like, "Why is anyone?" A screaming bowl. So there are these like crystal bowls that if you rub the outside, they are supposed to make what some people, and if they make a soothing sound for you and that is your jam, by no means take my words as a criticism, but dear God, the amount of anxiety that that little bowl gave me for like 5 seconds, I was like, "Sorry, ma'am, I think I'm out." They are singing bowls. They're screaming bowls to me. I was just like, I can see we're just not going to get along. And I don't really want to talk about my feelings, so I'm going to leave, okay? And And again, if they are your jam, if you like them, if they make you feel centered and at peace, that is also awesome. But there are also some people that listen to ASMR of mouth chewing sounds. Now, if you like those videos, I would recommend Mental Health Help, because how anyone can like to listen to chewing sounds. I tell my boys constantly, I'm like, chew with your mouth closed, and if I can hear you chewing, I'm going to lose my mind. So how anyone can voluntarily want to come or watch a channel where they're like, oh, it's very weird. Well, you guys, I do have like a 90 gajillion page list of chores I need to do, dishes I need to ignore. I swear to goodness, you guys, I just want Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. I feel like my life. That's another rant. Y'all, why the hell were we promised Rosie the robot's a sassy robot that will take care of the kids, that will put in the casserole and do the laundry and be sassy? And all we've got is a Roomba. How the hell am I supposed to have wonderful, banter with a Roomba? Elon Musk, I hope you fix this problem, because I was promised a Rosie the robot and damn jetpacks and a flying vehicle. And I feel cheated. The rest of my latchkey generation demands a jetpack that works, pills that are food, and daggone flying cars. But mostly for me, I would like to get a Rosie the robot and or Alice from, you know, oh gosh, the Brady Bunch. Just upsetting. I also, about the Brady Bunch, what the hell did Carol do? Can we all sit back and ask what the hell Carol did all damn day? She's got 6 daggone teenagers. She's got a maid with a link into the butcher. And actually, I deal with a gay husband to have, a maid with an in with the butcher. I'm just saying. Look, I would deal with it. I would deal with it. I'd be okay. Cause I mean, can I have a Alice? That's all I want, Dick. I don't care if I have to live with shag carpet. But looking back on the Brady Bunch, I sat there and I thought, what the hell did she do all daggone day? I have no idea. Not one. And I have decided that if I am going to model my life upon any TV mother, I'm going to be Carol Brady. Mostly because I'm pretty sure my family won't turn into a band like the Partridge Family. I've tried. They don't like polyester. And my girls will not dress up in taffeta and do the sister song for me for Christmas. I don't know if I've raised them right or wrong about that. But I'm like, one time in my life, if I have to perform it myself with my own sister, I am going to do it. My bucket list is so weird. Mr. Mo's like, what's something you really want to do? He's like, something that's on your bucket list. And I said, well, it's going to sound weird. And he's like, I know you. It can't be that weird. And I was like, I'd really love to DJ one of those furry dance-offs. He retracted that it wasn't going to be so weird. He was like, I stand corrected. You are in fact true. It is in fact true. That is a weird request. That is something that I'd never think was on your bucket list. And I was like, aren't you glad I'm not like other wives? Okay, I have to show you guys something. I found the most awesome possum thing ever. Let me get the stream up since I'm just going on a rando stream or rando tangent today. All right, I have to show you these things because I want the whole set. But my husband's like, what in the nightmare fuel is this actual crap? I want all of these things. You have no idea. I, I have issues. Look what they made. They made a shark horse, a husky penguin, a hamster lion, but this might be my favorite, a Tyrannosaurus Rex bee. You guys, I don't know if this is a crime against humanity or the best thing I have ever seen. A bee Rex, I know. So Mr. Mo was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I started sending him these things, and he was like, "What in the hell is wrong with you?" And I was like, "There are a team of doctors working diligently to figure that out right now." That's a raccoon body pillow, and you can get it for $18. The dog one is terrifying, but I feel like it's like Pokemon. If you buy one, you have to get them all. Mr. Mo again was horrified. Oh my gosh, they have a fluffy one. Oh, I am sold. Come on now, who doesn't want a, bee Rex? A bee Rex is everything you need. It's everything I need. Heroin Canadian swap meet theory must be studied. Yes. Oh my gosh, please tell me how she reacted. I mean, look, if I got it, I would be in love. But I do understand how other people might not see this. I was like, look, at least I didn't ask for a Coach bag or jewelry. I just asked for a B Rex. Say a prayer, light 17 candles for Mr. Mo, because honestly, he puts up with me, and I have no idea why he does some days, because I find myself to be deeply odd and confused about most everything that I do. But he does, so maybe I'll get him a B Rex and just keep it, as I do with all of the things that I buy him. I'm just kidding. No. But there you go. If you needed some interesting Christmas shopping idea, you can always count on Mo. Mama Mo will bring you the toys, the figurines. For the person that has everything, get that, get a B Rex. I definitely should, be a sponsor. I can only imagine the sponsorship I would get. Okay, so here's my other thing, you guys. I just want to become famous enough. B Rex, just because you could doesn't mean you should. Jurassic Park really taught us nothing, did it? Jurassic Park taught us nothing. We were just like, nope, we are still going to do whatever we want to do. And thank you for your super chat, Unhung Hero. Yes, the slings and arrows of having a deeply weird spouse is that when you open up a Christmas list, it's more like, do I need to Baker act them? Swifty, I've tried some. So this is the one from yesterday, and I will tell you that I'm not a big red fan, but if you add sparkling water to it, I cut all my booze. I do. I add sparkling water or Diet Sprite. There is no amount of sugar I won't add to things. I have liked them. Yeah, they were so full disclosure, these are price the calendar was $60. And I am not gonna lie, I have been too guilted in the past years to spend $60 on an advent calendar. But I found myself saying F it this year and just getting it. Because my kids, even if I make all the good food, even I made shrimp Alfredo last night with garlic bread and everything. And my children, my beautiful, loving children, the boys that I birthed from my body and fed from my body and kept alive these, 12, 8, 9, and 8 years, looked at me and said, "Could we have ramen noodles instead?" And now I don't feel guilty, not one bit, not one more. I was just like, I made I didn't home make the Alfredo sauce. It was from a jar. And, it's not that hard to boil noodles. So, and I get it. When I was a kid, I just wanted to have chicken nuggets or like crud. But I'd said, y'all are all out of the will. I'm gifting it to myself and coming back again and doing fun stuff. So I totally get it. And I remember being a kid and not wanting to eat what my mother, you know, made. But I looked at them and I turned around and I said, "Mr. Mo, I'm going to go upstairs to your room and start watching Golden Girls. If you would like to join me for our date night." Disclosure, not marital smexing this time. I was having a really bad pain night last night and the only thing I wanted to do was lay down. So I was like, "If you'd like to spend time together, I will be upstairs. We can, talk to each other. I just need to be laying down." So now we have a new show and I don't have to watch Bobby Flay because Mr. Mo is coming to know the goodness, the awesomeness, the joy, the downright sassiness, savageness, and sarcasm that is the Golden Girls. Now, again, my only life goal is to become Sophia, although I'll have to change that whole. Imagine this. We're in a cornfield in Indiana, because I can't say we were in Sicily, but I plan to do that. I don't know if I'll live with my oldest daughter. I might have to live with my youngest son. He's like, "Mom, when I grow up, you can live with me and help take care of my kids." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, son." He's like, "I'm going to have 12." And I said, "Okay." He's like, and then I said, "So who are you marrying?" He's like, "I don't know, some girl. I haven't met her yet." It would be weird if I got married now, right? So there you go. There is insight into Mo's life. Apparently, I will be babysitting my dozen grandchildren from the youngest, most feral. I don't know. I've, y'all, hand to God, I feel like I'm gonna have to lie to my youngest, most feral's wife one day when she asked, "How was he as a child? Like, when did they get?" Now, I've heard tell people plan these things, but when they have children, planned or not, they're still blessings. I'd have heard tell people plan these things. It just never happened to me. I never got like an appointment note or nothing. Anywho, I feel like I'm gonna have to lie to her when she says, "How was he as a kid?" And I'm gonna say, "I barely made it." I'm going to say, "He was a sweetheart. He had a lot of energy, but he was just a sweetheart. He was aggressively friendly, but I want you to have all the babies. Oh, yes, just all that." Because if I tell her the truth that I struggled to keep that child alive because he is a walking, talking danger machine, I don't know that I'm going to get any grandbabies. So I feel like I'm going to have to just tone it down and possibly omit all of his childhood years. Be like, "They just flew by. I don't remember any of them. I'm sure it'll be just fine. You might want to check your future fetus for ADHD. My son had it to, Spinal Tap 11. But other than that, you'll be fine. And hide the sugar, possibly." There probably is. They're gonna go base jumping together. They're gonna call me like, "Hey, guess what? We're doing our YouTube channel. Where are we, Mom?" And I'm gonna say, "Well, it's you, so probably on the top of the Eiffel Tower getting ready to do a base jump." He he's full of energy and he doesn't seem to grasp any sort of dangerous concept. He shoved himself into a cat tunnel, like one of those little flexible cloth ones, and he decided to try to go downstairs on roller skates Thanksgiving night 2 years ago. Well, obviously, he fell, knocked out his tooth, and split his lip open pretty badly. Now the story gets better, you guys. It's after Thanksgiving. Mama Mo has decided to take a glass of wine, run, roll, kind of wind down. And I was in the middle of putting blue highlights in my hair. So I had foil because, and y'all know the foil looks ratchet when you do it at home. You try to do it. You try to do exactly what you've seen your stylist do with the little comb, and then now apparently my hand-eye coordination is such that they just look like little foil turds on my head. And then I hear a scream. I realize we need to go to the ER. I jump in the shower, try to wash out this stuff on my hair. I looked like I had melted a Smurf. I'm pretty sure I still had a foil in there somewhere. And, went to the ER. And I was like, I understand that my son's health is important, but I also would like to point out, just for the record, on the record, that I generally do not look like I have melted a Smurf on my head. This was intended to be beautiful, but I had to run in here because he tried to be Evil Knievel. I'm not saying they hold a spot for us at the ER, but I am saying that we are frequent flyers. Anyhoozle, on that note, I am going to run to Sally Beauty Supply while they are not here so that I might attempt to do some stuff. But look forward to that stream tomorrow. We will be talking about so my kids go from 18 to 9, or no, to 8. So the first 3 were girls. They're about 2 years apart both. And then I've got the 3 boys. And nothing about girl mom will ever prepare you for being a boy mom. Okay, that is our number 1 rule. It is not be kind to yourself, be kind to others, which is generally my life motto. It is, we are not going to the emergency room today. So I tell my boys, ask yourself, is this going to land you in the ER today? And if the answer is yes, then you do not do it. Because what is the big rule? And my boys will say, Mom is not going to the ER today. She's had enough. I usually don't add the she's had enough to it, but apparently I've said it enough that they added the she's had enough. But kids are great. The kids are lovely. Reach out to your family today if you haven't. Let them know that you appreciate them, regardless of, ER visits, shenanigans, melted Smurfs. I do it again. I do it 100 times to be a part of the chapters of their beginning, and then to see them write their own chapters in their life story. So, all in all, I love my job. I love you guys, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow. I'm taking some time, you guys. I'm not going to work on I was going to try to work on breaking down the last episode today of the docuseries, but I'm just going to take today off for the most part after this, because tomorrow is going to be a bit heavy talking about the whole grief thing. So have a lovely, lovely day. I hope to see you on the flip side, and go out, be happy, be kind to yourself and to others. But just remember, carry a can of bitch fire, 'cause nice doesn't mean doormat. I've had to learn that. It's a lovely sprinkling of southern kindness and bitch fire. Bye, you guys.